So come on in, take a sip, and let's wind down. My name is Christopher. I'm delighted that you're here. And if you like hanging out with me for our daily solves and, walks down, say, what do you call it, linguistic lane and so on and so forth, if you could hit the like button for me and maybe even subscribe, I'd really appreciate that, so very much. And I am having a Negroni today. Negronis happen a lot on Fridays with me. It's just one of the most versatile, year-round, wonderful treats. Equal parts gin, Campari, and sweet vermouth. Of course, there's really nothing sweet about sweet vermouth. I often try to ask myself, how does it get the name? But really, some mysteries are better left mysteries. So, our wind-down word of the day is bêtise. A fantastic French word. Love the little diacritical over the E here, but it's just stupidity, right? And this has been one of my favorite words for the longest time. And sometimes when I'm asked by people, so what do you think about my new short story? Bêtise, c'est quoi? Something like that, right? Whatever, they don't know. It's just stupid, maybe. I would never say that, but I thought it more than once. Today, in entertainment history, in 1925, the Grand Ole Opry premiered on a radio station, but it soon made its way to the TV and so on and so forth. And this was a staple in so many American homes, and it probably still is, I'm not sure. I haven't watched it since maybe the 70s, but it was when I was a small child in the 70s that I remember watching it with my grandparents, and sometimes my mother when I was in Texas with her. I was in Texas year-round except for the summers, so I was with my grandparents. I wasn't some kind of weird whatever, no, just summered in Arizona. But anyway, talk about an American tradition, truly. And kind of funny stuff there, too. And eventually Hee-Haw and everything else, it kind of spun out of that, but good stuff. And this I was just floored by. I had no idea this was even a thing, but in 1975, As the World Turns and The Edge of Night, two of the soap operas that were just hanging on to their live performances. They did not want to pre-record anything on video. Everybody else had started doing that, but the only two soap operas that had not was As the World Turns and The Edge of Night. But on this day in 1975, they both put up their last live broadcast. Now, I can't even imagine doing a live anything like that on a daily basis, having all your lines together. You can't even say cut, or whatever. No, I don't know. I do a lot of live theater when I can. And that's different. And no, I don't flub stuff. I generally know my lines, but that's still a little nerving, right? To think, people are watching all over. And really out of just fun humor for Friday here. In 1895, the very first car race in the United States was organized by the Chicago Times Herald. And the race was from Chicago to Evanston and back. And Frank Durian won with an average of 7 miles per hour. That had to take forever, right? 3.5 hours and 4 hours. That just it's crazy. But good on Frank Durian, and a happy day and a happy birthday today to one of our favorite comedians, commentator, pundit, funny guy all the way around. So happy birthday to Jon Stewart. I can't tell you, for years and years and years, he has been entertaining us from the MTV episodes and the way back in the early days, all the way up through, his time as a stand-up comedian and then Comedy Central and so on and so forth. But happy birthday to Jon Stewart, born on this day in 1962. So very cool indeed. Now, let's go ahead and hop into our grid. Get myself situated here. Looks like we're going to open our weekend solving adventure with Jacob McDermott, who is so close to being crossword royalty, really. So fantastic. This ought to be a challenging little grid. Let's hop into it, see what we got going on. Okay, so pension alternatives for short could be IRAs, and I don't think we're talking about Irish groups of angry people. Words of affirmation. I don't know. I will. I mean, I suppose it could be I won't. I mean, you could give an affirmative answer. I am affirming to you that I will not, that I won't. I think you could do that. Drive around the office. Okay. Sam's wife in The Lord of the Rings, and that would be Rosie. Mr. J. Mr. J. Piano etudes, essentially. So we're looking for lessons here. Very nice. You got some good little grid here. Fake account. Looks like it's going to be a lie. That's funny. That's clever. I like it. Bahamians and Bahrainis, and so I'm shooting for maybe Islanders. Makes sense if you think about it. Rap figures for short. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe MCs. Hustle. Bishop for whom a neighborhood in Paris is named, and we stayed there the last time we stayed in Paris. We stayed in Saint-Denis. And that's the only one I can think of. It's named after a bishop, but I've only got a couple of the arrondissements memorized. Germain, Saint-Denis. This is so on and so forth, right? Junk food that ironically has an exercise in its name. I have no idea. Runs that are there. Now that's got me thinking this could be airs. We were just talking about the soap operas airing live for the last time in 1975. That's unbelievable. Dead ends. What do you want to bet these are D's? Back in the race. If that's a D, this could be to endorse. So let's go with the endorsement. Back them in the race. I bet you anything this is D's, and this looks like a cheese something. Junk food that ironically has an exercise in its name. So I'm thinking cheese. Those little cheese crackers that, I don't know. Like, well, it's got cheese in it. It's got to be healthy, right? Yeah, sure. Setting of the 1888 painting Cafe Terrace at night, and that would be Arles. And so, genre for Toots and my Halls would be ska, excuse me. So I think drive around the office could be work ethic. I was not expecting that. I thought this would have something to do with like a storage device, like a thumb drive. I mean, that's where I thought, in my head, it was where it's going. So I think we got MCs, and I think hustle is to skim. Odds are, similarly, flash mob group, perhaps. Let's probably not take a guess at something that long. Decide where to stay? No. One wearing the Star of Life emblem for short. I'll never forget when I got my EMT1, and not very much later, my EMT2 licensing. It was when I first began undergraduate, and I thought it'd be a great job. But then it turned out I was too young to do anything on an ambulance or even work in an emergency department at a hospital. So I got certified in phlebotomy and went to work for a foot and ankle reconstructive surgeon. It was kind of a cool thing. But I'll never forget my Star of Life. I'm so proud of it. Quite so. Well, I don't know what we got going on there. Actress Watts of Mulholland Drive. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, that was just a very depressing movie. I don't know. So quite so could be tis. Tis, I say. There was just something very depressing about the whole thing. Could just be that the whole thing was depressing. A great actress, though. Odds are could be I'd bet. So, decide where to stay. Are we booking here? We're gonna maybe book a room. James in the National Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame. That's right. That's Rick James. Yeah, that's right. That's what he was known for. Yeah. I'll have to bleep that out. Okay, decide where to stay. I'm thinking just book a room. Now I want to kind of gamble on that. Be coming soon. Game division. Okay. I feel like I got all out of whack. I saw that. Not above could be beneath. So, how about, hey, I saw that. Golfer McIlroy, the first European male to achieve a career Grand Slam, and I think we're talking about Rory, of course. So maybe the game division is a turn, and now I'm thinking that we've got a dance troupe. You know, I don't know. I kind of always wanted to be part of one of those flash mobs and put one together. You know, I don't know what I would do in a flash mob. Find myself useful in something.
I would be so excited if I wandered upon a flash mob. It would be like bucket list item for me.
Bucket list item, walk into a flash mob operation. That would be great. I completely agree. I want to be in one though, and I don't even know how to begin with that. Appetizer. Are we thinking maybe a starter? Let's start. Let's go ahead and start. Served as. You know, this is probably something so obvious too. You know, I mean, it's like served as 3 letters. It's like probably was or something. I don't know. Informal get together could be a sesh. And oof, sounds terrible. Prepared statement. This looks like it could be I'm ready. So like all Thanksgiving Day long when I wasn't in the kitchen, I was watching Jeopardy reruns. Like what is up with that? Literary protagonist who generally gave herself very good advice, though she very seldom followed it. We have just been talking about Alice. In fact, it was, I don't know, was it Lewis Carroll's birthday or something recently, or was it the release of Alice in Wonderland or Jabberwocky? I don't remember. I mean, we do this every day. It's kind of hard to keep up with it, but it's just funny. Yeah, we were just really talking about Alice here an awful lot, right? Some hailstone souvenirs. I guess we're talking dents. So I'm thinking this is yeesh. Yeesh. And this is probably was. So funny. Restaurant sommeliers offering, I'm assuming, house wine. It's the first thing I learn in any language when I'm learning a new language. It's just how to order a glass of a dry red house wine. Locking horns could be added. All right. Top tier could be A1. Humble dwelling could be a hut. Yeah, this is not going to be this would not be a great Friday for beginners, but it is a good Friday. I'm liking it a lot. Stereotypical eye roller. I'm assuming we're going for a teen here. And keep it in mind in case we're not right on that. Doesn't exactly ham it up. Could be underacts. So I guess you could say not Shatner-esque. Funny Fred. I think this is Armisen. He's a good friend to Seth Meyers, and he had that show he did with I can't remember her name now, but like Afterlife maybe or something like that. I don't remember. Like, you know, this couple dies, they're young, and there they are. They got all of eternity with each other, and like maybe they would have actually had a divorce at some point if they had stayed, you know, alive. So kind of a funny premise, but kind of sad too. It's not constructive. I guess this could be a bad attitude, which I rarely, if ever, have. But when I do, I go all out. I mean, it's just not it's not going to be a little bad attitude. It's going to be a bad attitude. Then that's something I should probably work on. Similarly, could be in kind, and so a speedboat speed would be measured in knots. Very nice. And so here we go. What do we got going on here? Trusty could be tried and true. Tried and true. French name meaning born again is René. And eccentric, 5 letters for eccentric. I'm going to go with Dottie and see what we get out of that. The Jazz on sports tickers could be a UTA, and we're not talking the University of Texas at Arlington. We're talking Utah. Junk food. That ironically has an exercise in its name, and I can see it now. The U's there. This must be cheese curls. Very, very good. Aptly named. Alternative to a fingerprint, maybe the passcode. Mind your own beeswax. Stay maybe out of it. Try it. See what happens. One named rock idol who was born Paul David Hewson. Well, that's Bono. Jazz pianist with a memorable recording of T for Two. So Art Tatum. I sang that deathlessly as a child for some reason. Like 4 or 5 years old, that's all I sang. I don't know how my poor mutti. I don't know. Sorry. Well, kid learns a new word. Like, the day I learned ubiquitous, I think I was like 12, and all of a sudden everything was ubiquitous. The squirrels in the neighborhood, they're just ubiquitous. It was just ubiquity everywhere. How about an Afro-Latino and plant eater? Oh, this is good. A Venus flytrap, I hope. On occasion, I say, oh, this is great. And then I say it, and then it turns out, no, that's not it. I'm like, so. Picks up maybe sentences and sings out maybe belts. Like I was belting out T for two. Poor Mutti. Softball question could be a lob. So you've been in office now. You've been in office now for a little under a year. How have you liked it? How have you enjoyed it? Has it been fun? That's a softball question. That's a good one. Jose Ole. Speaking of Jose Ole and all kinds of Tex-Mex and other brands and stuff like that. And we're going to be back in the States in the middle of December through the end. And I'm just excited it'll be December, so it won't be so hot. Foundational skateboard trick would be an ollie, but I can't wait to see my mother, my father, my sisters, the kids. I mean, it'd be so nice to just get back there and see them. And I got some friends I need to see too. I mean, I haven't seen them in a long, long time. Colorful capsule that splatters. I think we're looking at a paintball. And what the British call people who make crosswords. Well, these are setters. And I've made quite a few friends that are setters from The Guardian, and I really enjoy doing those. Very tough. Those are hard for Yanks to do and find their way around. They're not easy things to solve. I was getting pretty good at it, though. Anchors might be seen on them. Good night, San Diego. Small band could be a trio. It's a clever one, too. And, samples may be free. Actress, Marseille of Disney's Andor. I'm assuming Faye. So, how did we do, Bob? First of all, we don't look at the time. We're not going, oh, it was only 14 minutes. I'm just saying that seems like to always fall in line, unless we're doing a Sunday. But I got to memorize this Faye Marseille. I never watched Andor. And the one thing that I'm going to miss so much after having canceled Disney is going to be Mandalorian, wherever it decides to come out again. I don't know. But that's going to be about it.
We'll wait till they all come out and then do it for a month and then go back.
Yeah, we'll come up with some sort of strategy. Or just watch them on Amazon. But I just don't want to give any money. Don't want to give any money to anybody that's just going to go hauling off with people's, no. I don't like it. Anyway, but the point being, this is a fabulous grid. Jacob McDermott, this was just great. And most of the time I'm groaning at D's and C's and D, I just like, but I get it. I can't tell you how many times I've constructed a grid that's got the same type of thing in it. It just happens, and that's what you're going to do. And I get that. But dead ends, I like that. That was really clever. I mean, you really pulled this one out. This is absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous construction. So very, very well done. Good sir. Bravo to you. And with that, we'll bring down our Friday edition of the Bannière d'Adieu. And some of you might be saying, well, it looks just like the Bannière d'Adieu that we use Monday.
Is there a different edition?
There's not. No, but it is technically the Friday edition, Bannière d'Adieu. So, that said, until we see you tomorrow for the Saturday grid, and it's my favorite day of the week to solve, and I get so excited about it. Until we see you tomorrow, auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir, arrivederci, que tengas uno lindo días, annyeonghaseyo, masalamati, and to all of our good friends in Vietnam, hen gặp lại. Be well out there. Be great to the strangers, right? When you meet folks with those strong, thick foreign accents, tell them how proud you are of them for having what it takes to just pick up and start a new life in a new place, right? With no real command of the language. I mean, it's got to be a tough one, right? So, and as always, Jerry and I used to always try to remind folks, right, that there were many times in life where we had no money, but we were never poor. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Be well out there. Cheers.